Welcome to another episode of Tax Sale Starters, where we bring you the latest tips and insights on tax deed and tax lien investing. Stay tuned. We have great information for you this week. As always, I have my partner in crime, Brian Seidensticker from Tax Sale Resources. I always like to bring Brian in because he can give you insights from his bird's eye view. So, Brian, welcome as always. Thank you for joining. It's good to have you here.
Well, Carlton, it's always good talking to you, and I appreciate the salesman of for me, but yeah, I guess I've been in the industry for a long time. I will never consider myself knowing all in the industry, but I've certainly seen a lot in the last been doing this for 15 years. Speak to a lot of attorneys. We work with a lot of institutional investors, which bring in all sorts of weird circumstances, and so I guess for better or worse, I've had the benefit of working through some crazy scenarios across the board, which obviously brings some knowledge along with it.
That's what I want to lean into today. If you've all watched all of our videos, I mean, we've talked about doing due diligence, how to find the properties, how to assess the properties. We don't talk about strategies on how much you should bid because that's a personal preference. So we try to stay out of that pocket. We'll let you do that on your own. You should have the insights. But we talk about the laws in the different states and how things are working. Well, Brian has talked about something that, and I love to hear some of these stories that he says when he has an experience of going through some tax deeds and some tax liens that may not have been the easiest of processes to get through. And so I want to lean back on a couple of those stories and give you guys something different today. So, Brian, tell us about one of the headaches you've had dealing with the tax deed or tax lien. Tell us one of the stories about one of the things you went through.
Well, I guess one of the more recent ones that I was talking to an attorney about, and this actually applies to a few different states, but it's mobile home related, right? And what a lot of people don't realize is you can bid on a tax deed that's a mobile home, and it can be one of three scenarios. It can be just the mobile home, right? And actually doesn't come with the underlying real estate that the mobile home sits on. It can be just the property and not the mobile home, which in that instance, it's considered personal property. Or they may be attached and then you actually get the home and the real estate. And so because you can get one of those three scenarios, and most people assume you're getting the mobile home and the real estate. And actually it's the opposite. Most of the time you're not getting both, you're getting one or the other. It leads to some interesting situations that the attorney was talking about. And one of them being how, an investor bought what they thought was a mobile home, ended up being just the piece of real estate. And they thought, okay, that's fine. I'll just move the mobile home off my real estate and I'll just sell a vacant lot. And it sounded fine and dandy, but that the owner of that mobile home has rights, and when they showed up and the mobile home wasn't there anymore, now that investor was open to damages, and because the mobile home had been demolished, right? The previous owner of the mobile home can make all sorts of claims of how Van Gogh paintings are sitting in there and a priceless baseball card collection and all these. There's no way of disproving that, right? So the value of that lawsuit essentially skyrockets, and if the investor had just done his research, talked to an attorney, and found out, hey, I can't just hitch up to this mobile home and move it off my property, would have saved them a lot of headache, an expensive headache in that situation. So I guess that's one scenario that is always kind of aware of, but never really knew. I always assumed it'd be better to have the real estate as opposed to only the mobile home. And at least that attorney's opinion was it's actually better to have the mobile home because you have rights as the mobile homeowner, more rights than you do as the real estate owner, which is kind of crazy, but good to know.
Listen, if you guys understand anything about Carlton, I don't lean into people who don't know. They have to be smarter than me. And I'm telling you, Brian has got the insights that you need to improve what you're doing with tax lien and tax investing. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Tax Sale Starters. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button so you can keep up with the latest tips and insights in tax sale and tax lien investing. Also, check out Tax Sale Resources, where you can get the latest insights on upcoming liens and all that great information to help you be a better investor. Until next time, happy investing.